My name is Tina, and this is Chemosin ASMR. Guess what I just did? I recorded this whole video, and I never even hit the actual record button. No. So, okay, today we're going to be talking about what I've been watching for the month of July. Now, you know that my what I've been watching videos are quite long. I'm so exhausted. I didn't get any sleep last night. Then I went out with the kids to do some family day stuff. Then I came home and I walked to my mom's house and talked to her, and then came straight over here and recorded this video. And I was like, yes, I'm all done. I get to relax. Let me edit this and then chill. There's nothing there. It's just gone. So if I repeatedly just look over like that, it's because I need to make sure that it's actually recording, because I don't like my recording stuff in my face, because I don't like to look at myself. So I'm stressing out right now. It's like, today is not my day. But let's just try and relax together, because I'm going to pass out after this. I'm so tired. I'm so tired that I'm actually thinking I might take a nap. And I don't really do well with naps, but I might need one. I'm so tired. Okay, enough of me complaining about how stressful my day has been. Let's talk about what I've been watching for this month. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is a show on Netflix, and it is called Little House on the Prairie. Rotten Tomato score as of this recording is 77%. Audience score is 61%, and I do not agree. I do not agree. Hopefully, by the time this video comes out, the ratings are up. I don't know. But it stars, I think, Luke Bracey, Crosby, Fitzgerald, Alice Halsey. There's a bunch of people in this show, and it sounds familiar, right? Little House on the Prairie. There used to be a show way back in the day called Little House on the Prairie, and I've never actually watched that show. But I feel like I have memories of that show being on, like, just in the background of my life, like I think I was too little for that show. But I feel like it must have been on at some point, like probably when I was playing with my toys or something like that. I do have a memory of that show being in the background, but I've never actually watched that show. This show I absolutely love, and I don't know if it's accurate to the original show or not, but it is based off of books. I think they're children's books, but I'm not sure. But books by Laura Ingalls Wilder's. She wrote about her childhood on the prairie. So I'm guessing that this is based off of a true story. I don't know. I didn't really research it all that well. But the description says the Ingalls family lives and works on a farm in the Midwest, in Midwest America during the late 1800s. So it's about this family, the Ingalls family, and mainly about Laura, this little girl. And she's got a sister and her parents and stuff. So for some reason, they have to move, like, real quick or something. I don't know why. They didn't really go into detail about that. But they decided to move here, which is someplace called Independence. I don't know. I don't know where that is exactly. But right off the bat, they're in like a carriage wagon or whatever, And I'm like, oh my God, nostalgic, because it felt like the Oregon Trail. Okay. It felt like the Oregon Trail because they had to forge the river. It was crazy. And it's just like the game. Like, what? And I absolutely love Oregon Trail, from my childhood. Um, but anyway, so they have these like flyers in their hometown or whatever that were posted by this railroad company and stuff, and it says come this way. I guess it's to the west or whatever. It's Midwest, but it's west from wherever they were, and they're like, if you head this way, we're trying to, expand America. So a lot of people don't want to go west because it's dangerous. I mean, it's the late 1800s, so there's like Native American stuff and like it's the wild. But if you come and start a new town here, you will be given free land. So they're like, great, because we don't have any money and we need a fresh start. So they pack up all their stuff and go to this town called Independence. And they get there, they get their free land, they build their house, they start a life. And then they learn, I cannot remember the name. I want to say it's Sue, but I don't think it is Sue. Anyway, they find out that the land isn't actually free because it's Native American territory. But we're just going to take it anyway. Whoops. Talk about radiant, right? But the people who took this free land, they were tricked. They had no idea that they were taking land from someone else, and it, at times it is scary, because it's like you don't know what's going to happen. But it's just about this little girl, Laura, her life on the prairie and how things were back then. And it's just, sorry if you can hear that, it's Ava. It's just really good. So I don't understand this 77%, 61% scores. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, I really liked it, and it is signed for a second season. So I'm very excited about that. But I gotta say, I binged this show. I binged it. It was so good. And now I'm mad because there's no more episodes, and it's like, now I'm gonna have to wait a whole year or a year and a half to get a new season. I don't like that. But it's my own fault. Like, I just binged it. Okay, make sure we're still recording. We are. The next show that I watched was on Hulu, and it is a show called Alice and Steve. Rotten Tomato score gave it a 73%. Audience gave it an 81%. Again, I don't understand those scores. I absolutely loved this show. It starred Nicola Walker, Jermaine Clement, Joel Fry. There's a bunch of people in this show. What is this show about? It's about best friends. There is this woman named Alice, and she has a 30-year friendship with this man named Steve. Way back originally, like 30 years ago, when they met each other, they dated, but only for a short while. And then they were like, this ain't it. But they were much better as best friends. So they've been best friends their whole life, basically. And it starts out where they are attending one of their friends' funerals, and the funeral sucks. But they go out drinking, and doing all kinds of things, and they get a little too wasted, I guess. And so she tells Steve, just stay home. She's married. She has a son, I think, is in high school, and a daughter that is 20 or something like that. And her daughter actually just ended things with her boyfriend and moved back into the house. And her mom's very, very happy about this because she loves her daughter, you know. But she's like, I'm sad that your relationship didn't work out, but I'm glad that you're home, you know. So they get super wasted or whatever. And she's like, Steve, you're not going home. Just sleep on the couch. And he's like, cool, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. And so he's sleeping on the couch, and in the middle of the night, the daughter comes down to get something to drink, and she didn't realize that he was there and turned on the light and, you know, scared each other, whatever. So they're sitting there and they're having a conversation, and the daughter kind of makes a pass at Steve, and then the like the atmosphere gets weird. And then she goes for a kiss, and then he kisses her back, and then they have sex. What? So Steve just had sex with his best friend's Alice's daughter. So after that, before anybody woke up, he left, you know, and it, he kind of goes like no contact because he's like, oh my God, I slept with my best friend's daughter, you know. So he's kind of just like, I don't want to say ghost her or whatever, but he's just too busy right now for phone calls and text messages. And, you know, and the mom, Alice, starts freaking out. Well, the daughter goes to Steve's apartment and is all like, I like you. I want to keep doing it. And then the mom happens to show up, and she's like, whatever I did, you know, I'm sorry. Let's make up. And then she sees her daughter there, and the daughter just blurts out, Steve and I had sex. And the mom is like, this is a joke. And then she realizes it's not a joke and that they want to be together and start dating. And she just loses her mind. And that's very understandable because I have two best friends that are guys that I've known. One of them I've known for like 30 years. The other one I've known for like 22 years. Emma is 13 right now, but she's going to be an adult soon, you know. And just the thought of one of my best friends sleeping with my daughter, I would lose my mind. Obviously, that wouldn't happen because she's Leslie, you know. But I'm just saying, in this scenario, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. And that's what the show is about. The mother loses her mind, and she puts her foot down, and she's like, no, this is not happening. And they're like, yeah, it is. And then it starts this feud between these two best friends. And it gets intense. Like, it's life-altering, life-crushing feud, okay? And this is, I want to say that it's like like a BBC show or something like that, because it only has 6 episodes and they're like 30 minutes long, okay? So I binged this super fast as well. And this show left you on the most major cliffhangers ever. Mid-scene, it just cuts off and you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean there's not another episode? Are you crazy? What's going on here? It's so good. I don't understand the scores. And I looked it up. The show has not been canceled, but as of this recording, it has not been signed for a second season. Are you kidding me? Go watch the show. Go watch the show so that it gets signed for a second season because I need it. You can't just leave me hanging there like that the way that it ended. No, I hate that. The show better be signed for a second season or I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, the next thing that I saw was a limited series. Just making sure it is. I think the microphone, you can see it. Oh no. I don't like that when you can see the microphone. I don't like that. But anyway, okay, so this next show, it is a limited series on Netflix, and it is called I Will Find You. I Will Find You. Rotten Tomatoes score gave it a 60%. What audience score gave it 62%. Also, what do you mean? I loved this show. It stars Sam Worthington, which everything that I've seen him in is just amazing. So like when I see him in things, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be good. Because he's very picky and choosy about what he wants to be in, you know? I love actors like that are not just like in every single movie all the time, you know? I like the ones that choose what they're gonna be in, like very strategically, you know? It also stars, his name is gonna be hard. Milo Ventimiglia. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that that's the dad from This Is Us. I'm pretty sure because he just I think it is. I don't know, but I like him. And it also stars Britt Lauer. I don't know. You know, I don't know how to pronounce names. But anyway, okay, so I'm just gonna read the description and tell you about it. It says a father imprisoned for his son's murder receives evidence suggesting his son may be alive. So Sam Worthington is in prison for murdering his son. And he's like, I did not murder my son. But it looked like he did because he was home alone with his son. And I don't know why he got up in the middle of the night, if he heard something, what, but he goes to his son's room and his son is just full murdered, you know, and he like picks up his son, so he's got his son's blood on him, you know, and like, I don't know how to describe it. His son was like super murdered so much that like he was unrecognizable, you know, like you couldn't see his face really. That's how bad it was. So when he called the police, they came in and they were like, whoa, because it looked like he may have murdered his son. And like the weapon that was used to murder his son was, I think, a knife from their kitchen or something. And the dad's blood and fingerprints are on it. I don't know. But he gets charged with murder and he's like, I 100% didn't kill my son. You need to be looking for the real killer. And no, he's in prison because he killed his son. That's what they say. But his sister-in-law comes to visit him because she was on Facebook and one of her friends was at like this corporate retreat where they were able to bring their families, and it was kind of like, I don't know, some like amusement park type thing. And she had posted these pictures on Facebook, and she's looking through her friend's photos and she sees a picture of a little boy, and he looks a little older, but he looks identical to the son that was murdered. And the son had like this scar on his face, very distinguishable. And this boy had the exact same scar in the exact same place, same shape, everything, you know? And she shows this picture to Sam Worthington, and he's like, oh my gosh, my son could be alive. That's why it says he receives evidence suggesting that his son may be alive. And it gets very like, what? Because if that's his son, who was it that was in the bed that was unrecognizably murdered? You know, what is going on there? But he is determined to find the truth and find out where his son is at. So what does he do? He escapes prison. What? He escapes prison, so he's on the run. And I feel like this movie Like it was really good and super intense and stuff, but I feel like I was reading a Frida McFadden book. Okay, like you know how if you read those books, it gets very intense and you're like turning the pages, and you think you're reading this one story, and then all of a sudden you get to this one part and you're like, wait a minute, and it turns into a completely different story. And then your mind is just like blown by whatever's happening. That's what happens in this show. It is insane. It's really good. I don't understand the crap scores. I recommend it for sure. Okay, the next thing that I saw is a show on Apple TV, and it is Widow's Bay. Widow's Bay. Rotten Tomato score gave it a 98%. Audience score gave it a 93%. And I agree. I'm trying to move my notes over. So hopefully I don't knock anything over. But yeah, Rotten Tomato score 98%, audience score 93%. It stars Matthew Rhys. Reyes? I don't know how you say his name. I love him. He's so good. He's such a good actor. Like, if he's in it, you know it's gonna be good. It also stars Stephen Root and basically tons of people. So it says a New England mayor tries to boost tourism to his small town island, and he must navigate strange events that suggest the island may be cursed. And it's so stupid. It's like, okay, it's cursed, and that's his attitude towards it as well, because I guess he he invited this like maybe a journalist or blogger or something that does travel stuff. He invited this guy to check out the island because he wants to be able to bring more people to this island, because it's kind of like a fisher town or whatever. Everybody's got these boats. But he wants more people to come there to like vacation and stuff to boost the island's economy and like make money and stuff like that. And he wants to make it the new Martha's Vineyard type thing. But there is this man, crazy guy, who is convinced that the island is cursed and that everyone's gonna die, basically, and he is not shy about it. He's very loud because he was on his boat or something, I don't know, and this fog appeared, and he said that if this fog appears, then all these events will happen and everybody's in danger and everybody's gonna die and blah 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 blah. So Matthew Rhys is trying to control the situation, I guess, and he's trying to prove that no, it's not haunted. So he does these things to help this man understand this place isn't like cursed or whatever, except the strange things actually do start happening, and he even starts questioning himself, like, dude, is this place cursed? Like, what is going on here? It's listed as a comedy, and I'm like, it is funny. It is funny, but it's also like a mystery type of like what is going on. It kind of reminds me of like in the same category as the show From or the show Lost. It's very mysterious and there's a lot of lore going on. I want to say that it's scary, but it's a different kind of scary. It's mysterious scary, like I don't know how to describe it. It's really good though, and it is before the season finale aired, it was already signed for a second season. That's how good it is. That's how good it is. So I do recommend Widow's Bay. Very good. Okay, the next thing that I watched was a movie on Netflix, and it is called Voicemails for Isabel. Rotten Tomato score gave it 88%. Audience score gave it 88%, which I think is funny. It stars Zoe Doyish, Nick Robinson. I love Nick Robinson, and you don't see him in a lot of things, but whenever he's in something, I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be good, because I just love him. And also, Nick Offerman. I love Nick Offerman. He should just be in everything all the time. He's so great. All right, so it says a woman deals with her sister's death by listening to her old voicemails and leaving voicemails on her sister's phone. So it shows them growing up together, and her sister has always had something wrong with her. You don't really know. I don't know what's wrong with her sister, but she's always sick and weak, and she has to have oxygen on, and she can't go to school, you know. So it just shows them growing up together and how close they are. And her sister basically lives through her and her experiences. She comes home and tells her about them and, you know, stuff like that. They're best friends. It's amazing. But eventually, when she becomes an adult and she is doing school, I don't know what she's doing. The sister ends up dying of whatever. I don't know if she had cancer or I don't know. It was bad. And this woman, I wish I could remember her name, but it's the Zoe Deutsch. So she doesn't want to let her sister go, you know? And so she had saved all the voicemails that her sister had left her on her phone. And so to like heal, she will go through and listen to those voicemails. But also, she will call her sister's phone and leave voicemails so that it's almost like she's still there. She's telling her about her life and stuff. And I really connected with that because I'm trying not to cry. When my brother died, I would do that. I would call his phone repeatedly so that I could hear his voice. And she did that, you know, she listened to those voicemails but at some point those voicemails got erased or something, and she wasn't able to hear her sister's voice anymore. And I just tears, because when my brother died, I called his phone all the time. I don't even know how many times I called his phone just to hear his voice on his voicemail, you know. And then one day I called and it did that "this number is no longer in service" thing, and I was crushed because I couldn't hear his voice anymore. So when she lost her sister's voicemails and she couldn't hear her sister's voice anymore, I lost it. I lost it. I just started bawling, you know. So this movie, it's a romance, and I didn't even want to watch it, but my mom had told me about it, and so I watched it. And I absolutely loved it. to me, this movie feels like it's a new classic, like The Notebook or I don't know, Sleepless in Seattle or something like that. You know how there's those classic romance movies? I feel like this could be a new classic. Like it's so good. But so she calls her sister's phone and leaves voicemails for her sister to update her on her life. And eventually, that phone number gets given to someone else. And it's this guy, and it's actually his work phone that it's been given to, his work cell phone or whatever. And he's real busy or whatever, but he'll randomly get these voicemails and he starts listening to them. And he means to text this person, whoever you're trying to reach, they're not at this number anymore. This is, assigned to my work phone, blah, blah, blah. But he always gets too busy and never actually sends it. And so, I mean, I feel like it's months, weeks or months of her sending these voicemails about stuff that's going on in her life. And this guy, he actually ends up becoming attached and like he wants to listen to the voicemails, because he's like, what's going on with this chick, And it gets to the point where he's like, I want to meet her. I want to meet her. Uh, and so he does, and things get crazy, crazy. Um, so I don't want to say anything else about that because I don't want to ruin anything. But it's so good and it's funny. And I got to tell you, Nick Robinson in it, it made me fall in love with him. He's probably a huge jerk in real life, but in this movie, my heart, And I hate romances because I don't like that. I don't like romance at all. But I would watch this movie again, 100%. It's so good. So good, but I would say it's hard, but I think it's just hard for me because I had the same situation with the whole voicemail, whatever. I never left my brother voicemails, but I called him to hear his voice all the time. So I think that maybe this movie might have a different effect on me. I doubt you'll probably be bawling your face off, but it's good. It's good. Okay, the next thing that I watched is a movie. I believe it's on Prime, but it also says MGM Plus, so I don't know. But it is Project Hail Mary. I think this movie actually came out in theaters in March. I remember seeing trailers for it, and I was just like, I don't want to see that, But my mother-in-law, she actually bought it before it released or whatever, and she's like, "You gotta watch it; it's super good." So, Rotten Tomatoes score gave it a 94%. Audience score gave it a 95%, and I 100% agree. It's amazing, and it stars Ryan Gosling and also Ryan Gosling. Like it's just Ryan Gosling on the screen for like 2.5 hours. That's it. And it works. It's so good. He's such a good actor. So good. But so Ryan Gosling is a super smart science teacher. And it says the science teacher wakes up in space, light years away from Earth. What? With no memories of how he got there or why he is there. He eventually does get his memories back and he gets pissed, which is understandable. Um, but the reason that he is light years away from Earth is because they're trying to save the Earth because our sun and all suns are dying. And this sounds so stupid, but he must save the Earth from extinction. Ryan Gosling to the rescue. Except, yeah, like he's so good at acting. And like, I just love it. But so he's in space, and he's traveling to this, place for whatever reason. And what happens? He comes across another spacecraft, whatever. I don't know what they're called. But it actually looks really cool. And it's like, he comes in contact with an alien spaceship. What is going on? And eventually, their spaceships link together. It's real scary and intense because you don't know what's going to happen, And then these two, Ryan Gosling and Alien Thing, meet up. And it's like the alien is nothing like what you think an alien would look like, or, like the stereotypical alien thing. It's nothing. And Ryan Gosling actually like starts communicating with this thing, and he calls him Rocky, I believe, because he looks very rock-like. He can't really look at him and see like a face because it's weird. But he calls him Rocky, and Ryan Gosling, being the super smart scientist that he is, he uses a computer to create a system that can decode what the alien thing is saying. And anyway, so they use this, and they eventually are able to communicate like no big deal, like they're talking, And it turns out that this alien is on the same mission because this alien's son is also dying. And so they're doing the exact same thing. It's more detailed than that, and there's other things that are going on in the ship that are just like, what? So anyway, they team up and come up with a plan of what to do, of how to save the son or all sons, and I don't know, it's really, really good. I love it so much. This movie is a roller coaster of emotions. First, it's like intense and scary, and it's funny, and then you fall in love, and then you're like, oh my gosh. It gets very intense at certain times, and then at certain times you're just crushed, and then you're extremely happy. And this movie is so good. I hope it wins lots of awards because it's amazing. Amazing. I love it so much. I love it so much. Would I watch it again? 100%. 100%. It is amazing. All right, the next thing that I saw was a movie, and I literally just got home from the movie theater. So this movie is actually still in theaters, so that's the only place that you can see it, unless by the time this video comes out, which I highly doubt because it just got released, but sometimes they release them like digital release where you can rent them or something. I don't think so. It just came out, so. But this movie is called Evil Dead Burn. Rotten Tomatoes score gave it a 71%. Audience score gave it 80%. It stars names. Suhelia Jakob, Hunter Duhan. I don't know. It's a bunch of people. I can't pronounce any of their names. So, it's hard to say what this movie is about. So, I will read the description that was on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. It says, after the death of her husband, a woman seeks solace with her in-laws at their family home. Sure, I guess. The story does not really matter, okay? Because that's not what this movie is about. Technically, it is about this woman's husband dies. They go to the funeral, and then they go to the parents or the family home, and then things get crazy. Things get crazy. And they get crazy because there's some kind of like, I don't want to say demon, but demonic. I don't want to say spirit. It's like an essence or something that it it like attaches itself to one of the family members, and then it slowly attaches itself to almost all of them, but they are very violent and killy. This movie is so graphic and gory and bloody and bloody and bloody and disgusting and just shocking. Okay. Um, so there is a story, but it's really just you are in total like I watched it in the theater and we watched it in D-Box, which means that you're like fully immersed. And every time the camera moves or anything happens, which a lot of things happen in this movie, your chair reacts to it, so you feel everything. And it's got like that surround sound. So it's like you're in the movie. It's very intense. I don't even know where I was going with that. It's just a lot of violence and gore and death and blood. And it's like, so the demonic essence thing is angry because they're looking for this dagger, and it just so happens his family's grandfather was in some weird secret society and he had this dagger and it's hidden within the house. I guess that's why the demonic essence thing attached to them. I don't know. I don't want to give anything away, but it's like that's basically it. That's basically the story. And I would I recommend the movie? No. No, I would not. Not really. Um unless you're into the super gory business. And there are um Evil Evil Dead is like a franchise or something, but they're all each like standalone movies. So you don't need to see the one before. Um I'm just so I just saw this movie and it was just so intense, okay? And it's like I'm worried for the people who actually made these movies because the things that happened in there were in someone's head at some point, and it's like people have thoughts about this kind of thing. Like, ugh. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, ugh. And it was really intense because of the D-Box. It was a lot. It was a lot. Okay. Uh, would I ever watch it again? Never. Never in a million years would I watch this movie again. I mean, technically, it was an okay movie, but it was just too much for me. Way too much. Too much excessive. That's what I'll say about that. Anyway, so that is all the stuff that I watched for the month of July. I really hope that you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.